Hello guys, today we are going to start with our Python dictionaries. Okay. So far we have covered uh, tuple and list, and these are two data structures that we have covered so far. And today we are going to discuss about Python dictionaries. So inside Python dictionaries, whatever topics we will be discussing, those all will be based on the previous things that we have learned so far, as well as the new topic that we'll be discussing about dictionaries. Since dictionaries can work together with list and all, so we will see a list in few cases inside dictionaries, as well as like control flow, break, loops, continue. These all things also we will discuss in our dictionary session. Okay, so let's get started with Python dictionaries. So the first question is, what is Python dictionary? So like other data structures that we have discussed previously, a list and tuple, like that only, it is another kind of a data structure. So a dictionary is Python's built-in key value store. So unlike other data structures that we have discussed, where we were storing values inside a square bracket or else inside a parenthesis, but when it's about dictionaries, we will store values as a key value store. Okay. So what it has, let's discuss. So first of all, it is ordered. So insertion order preserved. Okay. So whatever the ways you will insert your things or whatever order you will be maintaining, that order will be preserved inside dictionaries. Then mutable. And I hope you guys now know what does it mean a mutable concept. We have discussed that in our list and tuple video. So you can add, change or delete entries. So it is mutable. Dictionary is mutable. It is fast. It maintains average lookup via hashing. Since it does average lookup via hashing, so it is quite faster. No duplicate keys. It doesn't support duplicate keys. We discuss about what is key, what is value altogether. Okay. So you can see these are the topics that we are going to cover in our overall section. And the first section that we want to discuss that is how we can create dictionaries. Now there are multiple ways how you can create a dictionaries, and you need to know all of them. Since you will be implementing multiple AI-based projects in the future, and for that you need to know the multiple ways, because while writing your own logic, you may need to implement those ways to complete your stuff. Again, we are not sure when we need them, but it's something like a tool that you need to have in your hand, so that tomorrow, if you want, you can easily do your thing. Okay. Okay. So now let's discuss about creating dictionaries all the ways. So what is the first way? So this is the syntax. First, you have to create a variable called d, like anything you want to create. Then in the curly braces, you have to first pass the key, then you have to pass the value. Okay, key and the value. So keys must be mutable. So whatever keys that you will be defining, right? Inside dictionaries, keys are immutable. But I have discussed, right, that it is mutable. Again, mutable where? These values that you can see, these values are mutable. You can change these values, you can remove these values. I mean, you can remove the entire key value if you want to. That is why it is saying it is mutable. But when it's about the keys, this part, these keys are immutable. Keys must be mutable. Okay. So string, numbers, tuples, values can be anything. Okay. So like you can say I've defined one dictionary here. One variable I have created called player, then equal to. Then I have given a curly braces if you see. Curly braces, right? If I just type it in front of you for your better thought process, so player equals to curly braces. Then I need to pass the key and the value. So first one will always be the key. Second one will always be the value. So name, this is the key. Then my name, right? This is the value. Likewise, it's a label. Again, label also need to be inside this label. This is an key, okay? And now this is the value, okay? Comma, another key health. This is the key, and then 100. This is the value, okay? So this is how I can define one simple dictionary where this is the key, this is the value, this is the key, this is the value. Now this key. These all are immutable. Once you define them, you cannot change them. So same example I've shown here with some extract key value pairs, and same I'm printing them. Simple, I'm printing them. You can see the data. And below, I have shown the same example, but I just wrote in front of you so that you get that feeling, right? So you can see this method called as curly brace literal. So this is called as curly brace literal. We are using curly braces, and instead that we are writing our whole dictionaries. So that's why it is called curly brace literal. If I execute the code, you can see the dictionary. Okay. So the another way called using dict constructor with keyword arguments. So you can see on the top I have showed you. Again, one new variable I have created called country equal to, and dict. You can say dict color is different. That means it is inbuilt in Python. You can say dict constructor. This is there inside Python. Python is maintaining that with keyword arguments. So why we are saying is keyword arguments? Because can you say I'm providing the keyword like name equals to India, capital equals to New Delhi, population something like this, right? So we are using keyword here like name equals to India. These are the keywords that we are using, right? That is what we are saying with keyword arguments. So I'm calling dict. Inside dict, I am passing the name India, capital New Delhi, population 1400 1400. Okay. So this is another way how you can create your dictionary. This is called dict constructor with keyword arguments. You just call dict. Inside that you pass the values name, capital, population. It will work automatically. You can see it is doing that automatically. Okay. Now another method is called as dict using dict only, but from a list of key value tuples. From a list of key value tuples. So how the list of key value tuple look like? You can see in the pairs example. So pair is one variable where I have a list. You can see it has the square brackets. You know, right? When we use square bracket, that means it is a list. And inside a list, can you see tuples? So each item is a tuple inside this list. So I'm saying list of tuples. So inside this list of tuple, each tuple contains two values. So first value is by default automatically dictionary picks it up. So this part is taken as key, this part taken as value, this part taken as key, this part taken as value, this part taken as key, this part taken as value, this part taken as key, this part taken as value. And if I just call dict, same like I called it before, now instead of keyword argument, I am passing the pairs variable. And this pair variable contains the entire list of tuples. And when I'm passing inside this planets variable, and when I'm printing the planets, if you see, I'm getting a dictionary called Mercury 1, Venus 2, Earth 3, Mars 4. And this is the dict from list of values. And this is how the output looks like. Okay. This is the method 3. There are a few more methods I discuss. Method 4 called dict.from keys. Same default value for all the keys. So let us say you have a situation that you have multiple keys. Multiple keys you have like Mercury, Venus, Earth example, right? Here we have math, science, English, history. So we have a list of subjects. You can see I have created a list again using square brackets, and there I'm calling math, science, English, and history. So let us say you want to create a dictionary, and inside your dictionary, these are the keys that will be there, and you want to give the same values for all. Like let's say for math, you want to give zero, for science, you want to give zero, for English, you want to give zero, for history, you want to give zero. So when you want to give some default values for all the keys, when you want to give some default value for all the keys, on such cases, from keys method will help you out. So you can see how can we do that. So I'm creating one simple list for subjects. Inside the subjects, I have something called math, science, English, history list. And then I'm calling one variable called attendance equal to dict, like same I called before. But now what I'm calling dict dot from keys. Dict dot from keys then subjects. So now dot from keys is calling, I am passing the subjects. So these subjects are actually taken as keys. Then comma zero. Zero means what? So by default values like math zero, science zero, English zero, history zero, right? Start all attendance counts as zero. I want to give zero for all the values for each of the keys here. If I execute the code, can you see? Math zero, science zero, English zero, history zero. So you can see, right? This is the use case of dot from keys. when you want to initialize use a default value for all the keys. So instead of manually typing them, right, you can just do this way. It will be easier for you to write, right? Okay. So the next part that I discuss another method that is called zip method to list into a dictionary. So let us say, so what are we doing in the method 4? In the method 4, we had keys and we want to define a default value for all the keys we were using from keys. But now when it's about a more dynamicism, like you have two lists. One you have keys list, another one you have values list. There is a keys list and there is a values list, right? So you have this keys list, you have this values list. Now what you want? You want to create a dictionary using them, where gold should be the key, 1000 should be the value, silver should be the key, 500 should be the value, bronze should be the key, 250 should be the value. So when you are calling medal values equal to dict. Dict inside dict I'm calling something as zip. What zip does, I think you guys can recall I discussed zip in the looping section. So zip inside zip, you need to pass these two list keys and values. And if you pass them like this, right? Then if you call dictionary on top of them, so these things will be converted into dictionary. You can say metal values and metal values. If I execute the code, can you see? Now I have gold 1000, silver 500, bronze 250. See, these are the values we are getting. Okay. So this is how using zip. Okay. Now, another thing that is empty dictionary plus type check. How you can define one empty dictionary? So, to define one empty dictionary, you simply need to call something called empty as a variable equal to empty dictionary. Curly braces. Okay, these are the curly braces that we have. This means empty dictionary. We have a dictionary, but it doesn't contain anything. Okay, and now to confirm that it is a dictionary or not, you can call type. If you call type, you guys know it will tell you the data, right? As you can see here. Then is it a dictionary? Just to prove you know now. I can use is instance, and inside the is instance, I can pass the variable. This is the variable. Then comma, which data type I want to check. Is it a list? Is it a dictionary? Is it a tuple? Is it a set? I just have to pass that name, dict. Since dict is Python's inbuilt thing, you cannot type dict like this. Okay, it will not take it. Since Python is case sensitive, you have to type the actual dict spelling, that is this. So this is automatically taken as Python's inbuilt thing. And this entire thing will return true if this empty is a dictionary. Okay, so you can see it has written true. Okay, and I will not discuss our set for now, so just ignore this part. Okay, so execute the code, you can see that it's showing class dict and is dictionary true. So I hope guys this all methods are clear to you that how you can define a dictionary in 5 ways. And I hope guys you guys are getting the depth that we are going inside this course, right? I think no one ever have taught these 5 ways how you can define a dictionaries, right? So so this is the first part that we have done, creating dictionaries all the ways. So this is the first section that we have done so far. Now we will discuss the next part, that is accessing values. So there are multiple ways how you can access a value. What kind of values I need to access? Like you have defined this dictionary, right? You have a dictionary where you have a key, you have a value, you have a key, you have a value, you have a key, you have a value. Now, how do you access them? You need to know, right? So there are 3 ways I'll show you how you can access them. And each way has its own pros and cons. Either of them you choose is fine. And I'll tell you which one we follow when we write code in production for companies. Okay. So now, like I have a dictionary here, a movie were titled Interstellar, year 2014, director Christopher Nolan, and rating 8.7. Now, how you want to access? Let's say I want to access type. I want to access the value of the type. That's my main motto. You can call the variable movie. Then in the square bracket, just pass the name of the key. What is the key? This is the key title. This is called direct access. You're asking direct access. If you want to access rating, just inside the square brackets, after calling the variable, now inside the square brackets, just call the key, like I have called here. And if I execute the code, I'm getting interstellar, which is the title, I'm getting the 8.7, which is the rating. Okay. Now another example that is called key error trap. Now we need to know what kind of errors we may get and how to identify what does this error mean. So sometimes what happens, guys, you can say, sir, we can do ChatGPT or we can just Google about some errors. That is true, you can do that. But the only thing is sometimes these are the common errors that you get while working with your code. And if you know, right, what this error means, we can easily solve it in a faster manner, right? Instead of Googling and getting confused, right? So these are the errors that you will get at every developer, whoever is learning about Python, they know this kind of errors at least because these are the errors that can tell you, okay, why am I getting this error? It's very easy to understand the error. Like you can see, I'm trying to access budget key from movie dictionary. But do we have any budget key inside my dictionary? No, we do not have any budget key. So we should get an error called key doesn't exist, key error. So if you pass any keys which doesn't exist inside your dictionary, you'll get an error called key error. And I'm just catching that error. You will discuss about try and except later, but for now just see what I'm just going to print the error. Okay, if I execute the code, can you see I'm getting an error of key error? Budget key not found. Okay. Now what is the safe alternative? Safe alternative is using .get. How it helps? Let me show you. I'm calling here a budget, which is a variable equal to movie.get. So when I'm calling movie.get, and then I'm passing the key called budget. And we know budget does not exist inside my movie dictionary. But since you are calling .get, and make sure that you do not use square brackets, you use parentheses. You are calling .get. It is a method. So you have to pass the values inside parentheses, not square brackets. So I'm passing the key called budget. Since I'm using .get, if it does not find this key budget inside your dictionary, it will not throw any error. It will just return none, no crash. Your code will not crash if you use .get. And by any chance, if the key that you are looking for it doesn't exist, it will not throw any error. It will just simply returns none, no crash. Now another way, let us say you are calling move or get. Here you want to access budget keys. But if the budget key is not there, you want to show some default value. Like your logic is like that if your code is not able to find out the key, just return some default value. Like I'm returning not available. So this is a default value. So what I'm saying here, look for budget key. If you're not able to find out, just return not available. That's all I'm saying. So if I execute the code, you can see I'm getting not available. Why? Because this budget, which is I'm printing here, it does not have budget key inside the movie dictionary, and that is why we are getting not available as an answer. So this is the one way to do safe alternative, and this is the way that we follow in production. The way that you have seen here, this is the way how you write code in companies. This is how you need to write your code. Okay. Okay. Another way. Get in control flow safe config reader. So let us say again some other example I'm showing up here. You can see I have something called configuration, and this is also a dictionary. It has theme as a key, dark as a value, font size as a key, 14 as a value, language as a key, English as a value, and I have something called missing autosave is missing. So I'm just writing as a comment here that autosave is missing. So you can see autosave, there is no key called autosave. Okay. So we have defined one simple configuration dictionary. Then I'm doing safely read settings fallback to defaults. So I want to access theme from my configuration. What I'm doing, I'm simply calling config.get. Inside get, I'm trying to access theme, which is dark. But by any chance, if this key is not there, which is there right now in our scenario, but by any chance, if this is not there, just show by default light. But I'll get the output as dark because theme key exists. Like that for autosave. Now autosave does not exist inside my dictionary, so it will take the by default value as true. Now font size. Font size is there inside my dictionary, so I will not take the default value. I'll take 14 since it is exist. Okay, that's all we are getting. If I execute the code, you can see the answer. See, I am getting theme dark, autosave true, font 14 pixel. Okay, and this is using if to branch on existence. So this is one if and else example. So like I'm checking if config.get dark mode. But do I have any dark mode key inside my dictionary, guys? I don't have any dark mode key inside my dictionary. And you know, right? When I use dot get, it will not throw any error, it will return none. So if this thing return none, then this condition will not be true. Since this part will return none, this entire condition will not be true. And if this entire condition is not becoming true, it will come to the else condition and will simply print that dark mode off not set. And you can see it is coming up dark mode off not set. Okay. Another example of in operator, check key existence. So just for your context, guys, why are we learning this if? Why are we learning this get in multiple options? Because whenever you write code, you need to make sure that you do all these kind of checks before doing any kind of operation, right? That is why we're trying to learn this many options. Okay. So like that, I have something called inventory dictionary, where I have showed equals to 3, shield shield equals to um, 1, and portion equals to 10, right? And I am something called items to check as a list. So what I'm checking in items to check. So in the items to check, I'm simply checking. I mean, not checking. I've defined one simple list where I've showed armor, potion, bow, right? So I have this many items and I'm checking. So I'm running a loop on top of my list for item in item to check. Okay. I'm running a loop. So you know, right? When I run a loop on a list, this item value will contain sword, then armor, then potion, then bow, right? And if it does it like this, then I'm checking if item in inventory. Now it will check if the item that I'm trying to find, if it is there inside the inventory dictionary. And if this condition is becoming true, see I'm using in here. You can use in inside your dictionary to check if that key exists or not. These are the keys I have defined, okay? And it is checking if that key exists or not. So it's saying if item in inventory, that means if this short exists inside my dictionary, then it will become true and it will print this one. And if it is not able to find out, it will simply print this one. Now you can see shore is there inside my inventory. Armor is not there. Potion is there. Bow is not there. So if you execute the code, you can see shore stock 3. It got this 3 here. Armor out of stock. Why it is printing out of stock? Because it did not pass this condition. It has printed this one. Then potion stock 10. Because I have potion value as stock 10. And then I have bow out of stock because bow is not there inside my dictionary. Okay. So these are the ways how you can access your key value pairs inside dictionaries, and these are the ways how you can safeguard your code so that it you can control your code. If you are getting any error, these are the ways you can control your errors and you can solve them as per your own logic. So I hope guys this part is also clear. Okay, so now we'll discuss about adding and updating entries. Again, we'll discuss multiple ways, and in my notebook there are some extra codes are there, like they are doing the same thing, but I kept just for example. So I may not cover them in the recording session because no point covering too many things. I'll cover sufficient things to explain to you, but rest logics or rest examples you can explore it by yourself. Okay, so you may see I skip few examples because they will be the same example that I'll be discussing, but with some different numbers. That's all. Okay, so you can check them out when you access the node. Okay. So example 3 that is add a new key or update existing key. Now so far what we did, we accessed the keys and values we have created a dictionary. For now, what about adding and updating? Since we know that Python is not Python, dictionary is mutable altogether, and that is why um, you can add something or update something inside dictionary. Okay, so I have something called character. Character is nothing but it is a um, dictionary, or I have something called name Kiran HP 100. Okay, name Kiran HP 100. Okay, and name Kiran HP 100. That's great. And then I am simply printing before character. Okay, before character. Simple I'm printing this. You can see before it is printing this. Normal thing. Now let's what I want to add a new thing. And how to add a new thing. Just call character, the variable where the dictionary is defined. Then the key, that is MP. Don't ask me what does it mean MP here. Just for example, MP. MP is a key. So it doesn't exist inside my dictionary right now. I'm calling MP in a square bracket equal to 50. So now this will add one MP key and 50 as a value. Again, I'm adding another thing called label, which is a key and one is a value. Okay. Then HP. Now I'm here updating a existing. HP is already there inside my dictionary, but I have HP value as 100. Then HP equals to 120. I'm updating the existing key. Okay. In HP 120, I'm updating the existing key. So now this value will be updated as 120 instead of 100. If you execute the code, you can see the output after name Kiran, okay, HE 120, HP got updated. See, it was 100 before. MP50, new key value has added. Label 1, new key value has added. This is how you can do that. Another example. Another way basically using dot update. When you want to do bulk update from another dictionary or list of table, you can use dot update when you want to do bulk update. What does it mean a bulk update? When you want to do multiple changes in one shot. Now in this case, we made one changes at a time. But let us say you have 500 changes you want to apply now. 500 changes. But are you going to write 500 times this number of code? No, right? You need some way to do that. So that is why we have something called dot update. So you can see I have a dictionary here called profile. It has username as key, Dave42 as well. Email old at the gmail.com label 3. So what new data I want to add? So this is my profile, which is my old dictionary. I have some new data, let's say new data. We just email new at the email.com, which is different than this one, right? The previous one. It has old at the gmail.com, it has new at the mail.com. Then label 5. So previously I had label 3 and here I'm defining label 5. And it is a new dictionary called new data. And badge equals to bold. Now what I want? I want to update this thing inside this entire dictionary now. So I want to update this inside this. Now for that what you need to do? You can just call dot update. So you want to make changes on this profile dictionary. So just call that one profile dot update new data. When you call new data and when you call profile dot update new data, so what this new data will do, new data will add all these values. Okay, it will update the email, it will update the label, it will add the badge. Since email was already there inside my profile dictionary, it will update it. Label was also there inside my profile dictionary, it will update it. And batch was not there inside my previous dictionary, so it will add it. Now if I show you, can you see the updated dictionary now? This is the updated dictionary. And there's another example also of a list of tuples. If you want to update with list of tuples like this, you have something called city Mumbai and verified true. So city is the key, Mumbai is the value, verified is the key, true is the value. So the first one is always a key inside a tuple. Second value is always a value inside a tuple. Okay. Can you see now it has added city, Mumbai and verified true. So if you want, you can do bulk update from another dictionary or from list of tuples. Either of them you can do using dot update. Okay. Then another thing called dot set default. Add only if the key does not exist. Wait for initializing counters or list, etc. Let's see what is that thing. So I'm calling something called word count, that is empty dictionary. Great. I'm defining one list of sentence called the cat sat on the mat, the cat. You can see the is repeating multiple times and cat also repeating. So I'm running a loop on top of it for a word in sentence. For a word in sentence. I'm running a loop on top of it for a word in sentence. Okay. So if you call dot for word in sentence, what it will do? This word will pick the first the, then cat, then sat, then on, then all of them, right? And if I just quickly show you the same thing in Python tutor for your better understanding, the simply visualize execution, you can see I have first the word count as an empty dictionary. Then I'm defining the sentence list. Then I'm running a loop. So what picked up the first one. Okay. Then word count dot set default word comma zero. So word count is what? Word count is an empty dictionary. I'm saying dot set default. I'm saying set a default value. Okay. For which key you want to set a default value? For the word. And what is a word in my case? What is a D here? So pick D and give it a default value 0. That means if, see, right now in my case, this word count dictionary is an empty dictionary. It does not have any keys, and that is why it will check. Do we have the key inside my dictionary? No. So give it a value called 0, default value called 0. See, I got a default value D0 inside my word count. Then what I'm doing, word count word, you know, right? Inside these square brackets, we can access the key. And right now, word count word what? Word count is the empty diction. And what is the D? What is the value of D? 0. So what I'm doing, 0 plus what? Plus equal to 1 means what? 0 plus 1. I'm incrementing with 1. So you can see D become 1. Again, I'm coming and I am picking word as a cat. Again, cat is not there inside my word count dictionary. Settled again, add 0, default value. Then it will add 1. Same will happen for word sat. Same will happen. Now, same will happen for on also. Same thing. Now see the fun part. Now I got D again. This one I got. This D I got now. Now this code will not define 0 for D because the set depose only assigns a value if the key does not exist. But now in my word count dictionary, I have D1, cat1, sat1, on1. The key exists inside my dictionary. So it will not add anything. See, no changes inside D. But I had a D value 1 and then I am doing again plus 1. So D value will become 2 now. See. Now again same for mat. Mat does not exist. So mat will become 0 then 1. Then what we got D. Again I got D. And again since I have D key already exists inside my dictionary, I will not do anything. Simply add plus equal to 1. So D become 3. Okay. Same for cat. See cat became 2 now. Then for we're done. See, we're done. And we got the final frequency as an answer. So you can see same output we got here. D3, cat2, sat1, on1, mat1. So this is the use of dot set default. It add only if the key does not exist. Okay. Okay. There another called condition update. Only update if better. So I have something called high scores dictionary. Where I have values like Alice 1200, Bob 800, Carol 1500. And then what I'm doing, I'm simply having another new results list where I have list of tuples. Okay. So you know, right? If I want to run a loop on top of it, I have to call two variables for player comma score in new results. And why I did that because this list contains the list of tuples. Each tuple is the item of my list, and each item is a tuple, and each tuple contains two values. Now to contain two values, we need two variables. So these are the two variables for player, comma sport. So the first occurrence, player will be Alice, score will be 1350. Second occurrence, player will be Bob, score will be 750. Third occurrence, player will be Carol, score will be 1600. The fourth occurrence, player will be Dave and score will be 900. Okay. And now what I'm doing, simply checking if the score value is greater than higher score dot get player 0, what this line is saying. What is the score value guys in the first occurrence? 1350. It is greater than high scores dot get. So high score is this dictionary. Dot get we know player. What is the player value in the first occurrence? Allies. And I'm saying zero. So by any chance, if it is not able to find out the key, just show the value as zero. Zero default for new players. So what I'm checking, if score greater than high score dot get. So what do I get for this one? High score dot get allies. Allies value was 1200. So 1350 is greater than 1200. Because of that, it will simply update it. High scores player, that means allies, equal to score. What is the score value? 1350. We'll update that. And now, when in the second occurrence, like I just show you in a Python dictionary for your, sorry, Python tutor for your better readability. I simply just do it. See, simply do it. See. So player allies score 1350. And you see, so this is true. Why true? Because 1350 is greater than 1200. So what it will do is simply update. See, allies become 3050 now. Okay. Then again. Now player got Bob and 750. So 750 is now greater than 800, right? So what it will not pass this condition. It will come to the else section. See, it came else. And it's simply printing this 750 did not beat 800. Okay. Next. Player Carol score 1600. So 1600 is greater than highest scores dot get player. So what is the player value? Player value become Carol, right? So 1600 is the score of Carol, and it is now greater than, it is greater than 1500 actually. So this condition will become true. I will simply update the Carol score. Okay. Okay. Now the last one that we call, I got Dave. And do we have Dave inside our dictionary? No, right? So by default, what it will take Dave's value as zero, because Dave is not there inside my high scores, right? Since it is not there, by default it will take a zero, and zero is true, correct? So it will come, we add Dave and 900. How come it is at a 900? Because we had Dave 900 defined here, right? And then it will simply print the final high score. We got the final high score. Alice 1350, Bob 800, Carol 1600, Dave 900.